This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and this is a pen. This is the Wacom Bamboo Ink Plus pen. So it's the latest pen from Wacom. It's $99, and it's what they call a dual protocol pen. So what does that mean? Today's laptops and convertible tablets that run Windows usually have one of two digitizer types. It's either an N-Trig, which is what Microsoft Surface devices uses, and also HP Spectre and some ASUS. And then there is Wacom AES, which is what Lenovo and Dell typically use. So you don't have to go crazy finding the right pen, which has never been any fun. They have one pen that does both protocols. And there is a third kind, which is Wacom EMR, but you only find that usually on higher-end purpose-built artist devices and also Samsung notebooks. So it wouldn't be compatible with Samsung notebooks, but pretty much everything else that has an active digitizer. We're going to look at it now. So as pens go, this one is fairly ergonomically delightful, which counts if you're going to be doing a lot of note-taking or artwork. It's kind of round, but it's a little bit triangular at the same time, which means it's kind of easy to grip compared to something that's just round. It has a slightly matte, not exactly soft touch finish, so it feels nicer than the kind of stark metal, say, of the Surface Pro pen or most of the pens that Dell and Lenovo throw in with their convertibles and digitizer-equipped machines. It's USB-C rechargeable, so no sourcing quadruple A batteries. The upside is, well, duh, you don't have to go out and find and buy those batteries. They typically last 6 months or a year for most people. But the downside is that battery life typically isn't as good on these pens that are USB-C rechargeable. We saw the same thing, only to a greater extreme, with HP's Tilt pen, which is USB-C rechargeable. Now this does have an on-off button. If you hit the bottom button, it'll turn it on and off supposedly. I think it goes to sleep by itself, so part of this may be I'm not being mindful about turning it off, if indeed that's necessary. The one-page quick start guide really doesn't tell you too much about that. There are two buttons on the barrel, and you can assign them to be different functions, which is always handy. If you press and hold the two of them together, you can switch between N-Trig, or what's now called Microsoft Pen Protocol, and Wacom AES. Now, I found out of the box it actually did both, and I didn't have to manually switch it, but you can do that. You just hold both buttons down for about 2 seconds. You'll see the little white LED flash twice, and you're good to go. It also has Bluetooth. It's not required for any functionality on the pen in terms of how it inks, but it can do things like quick launching the apps of your choice, do a screenshot, that sort of thing. So you press and hold the button on the butt end of the pen to pair it up via Bluetooth if you wish to do that. Now the pen supports 4096 pressure levels, and the pressure sensitivity on this is very good. And it also supports tilt, but here's the caveat: only if the digitizer on your laptop or tablet actually supports tilt. Some do, some don't. So with the Microsoft Surface Pro liner products, yes, the latest generation, you do get tilt, and it works beautifully on it. With the Wacom AES devices, some of them yes, some of them no. Again, it's going to depend on that machine. When I review each machine, I always talk about whether or not it does support tilt. For HP Spectre X360 products, no, they do tilt in a weird way, where they require their own tilt pen that actually handles tilt via Bluetooth, which is a little bit different, so you're not going to get it there. In the box, you get a little USB-C to USB cable for charging, USB-A that is, and you also get a set of nibs. You get one that's marked soft, one that's marked hard, and one that's marked blue. Blue, mysterious, yes? Now, my one complaint about that is the others have little white rings on them, or like gray, and the blue one should have a little blue on it, so you can actually tell it apart from the others. But anyway, the blue one, if you read on their website, they have a link you can follow to learn about compatibility. Some Wacom AES digitizers will do better with that blue nib, so that's why that one's there. The case itself has a little nib puller. It's a little hole on it. I found it a little hard to use, so I just resorted to one of the many ring nib pullers that I have around, but there it is. So how does it actually work? Well, you know, I love Wacom products. I'm a real fan, but I have to say that what I've realized is that manufacturers, HP, Lenovo, Dell, all of them, Microsoft, have done a very good job of optimizing their own pens for their own devices, because I found in each case that the Bamboo Ink Plus had more jitter, which is wobbly lines. You'll notice it more if you're doing slow diagonal lines. It's a good way to illustrate the problem. But even doing big gestures, you can see the lines are more crisp when I use the actual manufacturer pen for a given device, with less of that kind of not so smooth looking curve thing going on. In terms of pressure levels, it's equally as good. In terms of tilt, it's equally as good as the manufacturer pen. So if you're looking for something that does work with multiple devices, then it's a selling point. If you didn't get the pen in the box with your laptop or tablet and you're having trouble sourcing the one, then those are the selling points for the Wacom, along with its rechargeability. Now, I tested this on several devices. So we've got Microsoft Surface Pro 6 up first, and we've got the Surface Pro pen, which is also $99, and the Bamboo pen. And you can see there's more jitter and less smoothness of line, but otherwise tilt and pressure work equally well with both of the pens. With the HP Spectre X360 13-inch gem cut, and that has a pretty mediocre N-Trig digitizer, to be honest, and nothing is going to help it. It's really up to the digitizer more than the pen. So it has jitter with both pens, but less with the HP pen, and tilt is not supported with this pen or with the stock pen that you get in the HP box, unless you pay for their tilt pen using Bluetooth instead. So yeah, the HP pen is typically cheaper though, so you might want to go for the HP pen. And lastly, we tried the Dell Latitude 7200 2-in-1, which is their basically Microsoft Surface Pro 6 clone, and that uses Wacom AES. Things get a little more interesting there because you can actually download, they have a little driver that you can download, and you can see it, how it looks right now. And once you install that, you get some neat functionality. Besides things like assigning different functions to your pens, you can set both tilt sensitivity, and I left it at minimum because, boy, it thinks everything is a tilt otherwise. And you can set pressure curves, which is important and nice to be able to do as well. And you even have the option of having a little charge level battery indicator in the taskbar so you know how much battery you have left in the pen. But there, too, I would say that the Dell pen that comes with this machine actually did a little bit better in terms of smooth lines and jitter. Again, for pressure sensitivity and for tilt shading, that sort of thing, they were equally as good. So that's the Wacom Bamboo Ink Plus, and as a piece of hardware, aesthetically speaking, how it feels in the hand, this is great. The rechargeability is nice, though you might have to deal with that more often than you actually would with replacing batteries on the pens that use batteries. But I'm not going to say that this gives you something that the manufacturer's own pen doesn't, because I found the manufacturer's pens are a little bit better in terms of smooth lines and jitter, like I told you for these devices that we've tested here. This isn't bad at all, but it's not quite great. If you're doing note-taking, you probably won't even notice. As you can see in my handwriting samples, I mean, it's close enough, right? You're just taking notes. But for those of you who are looking at this for diagramming or for doing artwork, yeah, I would go with the manufacturer pen. Sorry, Wacom. I'm Lisa from Mobile Tech Review. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more cool tech videos, and pens up if you like this vid.